Hanging up with Bitcoin or any other digital currency. I know this is going to be bad news for those fans. I never really was a fan of this type of stuff, but man, wow. It looks like the I.R.S. came out with some rules. It's going to be treated like Bitcoin, for instance, specifically, is going to be treated as property versus a currency. And this is, it's almost like if you bought a stock in something, whatever, an equity. That's what it's going to be treated as. And there's a hell of a lot of rules going on with that that's much, much different than when you're treating it as a currency, because you got to keep track of gains, capital gains, and it may not be capital gains. And there's a lot more involved than you think. So I'm going to go over some of this. So, hanging up with this damn stuff, it's ridiculous. So they're not going to treat it as a digital currency. It's going to be property. So in other words, users will have to track all their transactions to determine the amount of taxable gain each time they use Bitcoin. And I guess this is going to apply to everything else out there that's a digital currency. So in other words, it's like you sold a stock ticker. You're going to have to keep track of your gains. So if you got Bitcoins at $100 or whatever digital. I don't know if this is going to apply to everything else, but you assume it will, right? You assume it will. So basically, it's treated as property. So you're going to have to figure out all your gains every freaking time you go use this currency. So it's not a currency. It's property. It's property. And it's like a capital asset or something like that. So basically, the basis for the virtual currency is when you figure out what the basis is, it's actually whatever everything's being converted to U.S. dollars fair market value at the time of the transaction. Everything. Now, here's another thing. If you're mining Bitcoins and you're doing this as an individual and not like an LLC that's a subchapter S or something like that, if you're mining Bitcoins, if you mine Bitcoins and you say, I got $500 worth of Bitcoins or something like that, you're subject to self-employment tax, which is 15%. How's that? I don't know if this, it's a good damn thing there right now, because I know the government right now is pretty hot on giving a lot of energy credits over the last several years. They're hot on giving a lot of credits tax breaks to farmers. So, if you actually go into, growing foods or saving seeds or, making seeds into plants that make more seeds, you're probably better off doing that type of stuff than messing around with this digital currency. Actually, there's a lot of tax breaks, not only from the federal government, but also from the states that, when you put solar panels in or you do anything like that, there's tax breaks involved. Now, I guess if it became common, they'll probably tax you on the dollar value of the energy received from the sun in the future. If they run out of, if everybody had solar panels, they'd probably do that in the future. These guys will, hey, it's a power grab, man. What do you think they used to have a tea party? It was like, well, you guys are doing too many taxes. Anyway, the character of the gain or loss, the Bitcoins, in other words, depends on whether it's a capital asset or it's held as inventory or other property, mainly for the sale of customers in the trade of a business. Our example of property that's not a capital asset, in other words, it's kind of like inventory, when you're just trading like that, in other words, maybe you're a Bitcoin dealer or something like that. It's not a capital asset in that case. But with most people, it's going to be a capital asset. But then you're going to have to figure out, what it was, what the dollar value was at the time of sale. So your Schedule D is going to look like, and if you don't do this, you're in violation of the I.R.S. tax code. And, I know I saw some stuff out there, on the internet, that, and I swear to God, I think, these were former I.R.S. agents saying this crap. It was on, YouTube things where they said that there's no law saying that you have to pay income tax, that you don't have to file for income tax. That is bullshit. God, there is a law, man. It's right in the freaking statute passed by Congress. So, and, with this Bitcoin deal, it's like there is a way to actually kind of trace you because there's a big log of all the transactions you did. So, if you're playing around with this garbage and you decide to circumvent the I.R.S. code or whatever the hell it is, they could still nail you at some point in time in the future, right? And here's Putin, the tax cat, right here. So he says hi. He says hi. And the tax cat knows. I got it from this guy. He's the tax cat. This guy's coming over here. He used to come over here. He used to not bother me when I'm doing videos. Now he's coming over and doing videos himself, right? He's Putin the tax cat. He's saying, hey, I'm the one that researched all this stuff. And, hey, this guy's over here talking. I just don't know how to talk English. I just know how to meow and make other cat noises. But he's the one that actually did the research on this. So, anyway. He's a pretty smart cat, so I rely on him quite heavily, and for that, I give him the best cat food there is. Which I wonder if that's deductible, because he's my business partner, right? He's my business partner. I think cat food should be deductible because he's my business partner. He did all the research on this stuff. That's a smart cat. You believe it or not, you wouldn't believe it. His whiskers, it's like they pick up things that just come out from the I.R.S. He goes, and then he goes, hey, meow meow, and there it is. He goes, he tells me where it is. So that's how I knew about it from him, Putin the tax cat. But anyway, so if you're doing this stuff, I don't know, man. This is screwed up. I don't like it, but it's the law, and you're not going to be Wesley Snipes and say, I don't have to do this. Nah, it's the freaking law, man. I mean, really. This digital currency shit sucks. That's all I got to say. I don't like it, man. Now I really don't like it. God, I never liked it because it was digital, but, because, you can lose your electronic wallet somehow by, if you have it on a drive, a thumb drive, and it gets stepped on, it gets destroyed, you lose all your information, you got no recourse to get your money back in that way. There's a lot of ways it got hijacked online. I didn't like some of that stuff. I know that's not that likely, but still, but now they came out with these rules. So, basically the basis of the virtual currency that a taxpayer receives, like in other words, say you got Bitcoin for something you sold, at the time, for the payment of goods and services is the fair market value of the currency in U.S. dollars at the time of transaction. So it's like, if you paid for something in anything else, it's the same way. It's the same way. It's a capital asset. It's property. It's normally a capital asset. I mean, there's not going to be too many people that are going to be treated as inventory unless it's a dealer in Bitcoins themselves. But, the interesting thing is if you're a miner and you got coins and you got these coins from someplace and you say you got say you got $50,000 or say you got $1 million worth of freaking Bitcoins, right? Putin's ears are poking up. He's right over here now. If you got $1 million worth of Bitcoins, well, then you got $150,000 worth of self-employment tax involved there because because what did it cost you to get those coins, right? Maybe you could deduct the electricity on the computers and stuff like that for the mining and some of the hardware, but I don't know, man. You're going to have 15% self-employment tax to deal with. So, this has got Putin doing some, Putin the tax cat doing some conniptions here, but, I mean, he says go buy solar panels and stick with silver. And buy cat food, You can buy cat food and buy the best stuff and buy cat vitamins and cat litter and, that type of stuff. Anyway, I don't know. One thing good about having a cat as your partner, you don't have to worry about Obamacare yet. He didn't figure out a way on that where you have Obamacare for your pets. They're going to do that eventually, I'll guarantee you. And who's going to pay for it? The human, right? The human's going to have to pay for it, right? You can have Obama health insurance for your cat, your dog. You're going to have Social Security tax for your cat, your dog, and their big brother government's going to take care of your cat and the dog. But then again, maybe they should elect a cat or a dog as president of the United States, and we have Putin and a tax cat as president of the USA, and revise the tax code and just make it a national sales tax and get rid of all this freaking gobbledygook, because it's like you're spending more time filling out forms than you are actually producing something good for people. But anyway, I figured I'd put this out here because that really kills Bitcoin to the max and probably everything else. I don't know what's going to go on with the other digital currencies, but you figure, if they rule Bitcoin as property, and it's going to, most every transaction out there is going to be treated as a capital gain, a sale of a capital asset. What are you going to do? And everything, all the efforts that you put into something to mine these coins, if you get all this money, for all these digital currencies, and you mine them, well, you're going to be subjected to self-employment tax at 15%. Yeah, it's going to go on your Schedule C thing, and it's getting ridiculous, man. The life of a cat is very simple. I'm jealous right now. He's going in this little thing over here I made for him. He's crawling in there. He's like, I can't stand this I.R.S. stuff. I'm getting out of here for a while. That's what he's thinking right now. That's what he's doing. He's crawling into his little cage thing down here. Anyway. Putin the tax clat just hit overload. But anyway, he's the one that told me about this stuff. So, I don't know. Who the hell knows, man? Like I said, right now you're cool with the solar panels. Maybe 20 years from now, if everybody's got solar panels, maybe the I.R.S. is going to say, for the value of sun energy received, you're going to have to pay taxes on it. I agree with Malcolm Forbes. I mean, what is it? Not Malcolm Forbes. That was the guy that rode the Harley, the son, right? The son, Steve Forbes, I guess it is, about the national sales tax. I like that idea. He's got to get a Harley, too. He's got to get a Harley. We've got to ride into the I.R.S. and, some whips and chains and whatever the hell we're going to do with these guys, man. These guys are ridiculous, man. And, next thing is going to be Obamacare for cats and dogs, right? Hey, man, time to revolt. Putin's getting sharpening his claws right now, man. I can see him over here. He's getting mad. He's like, anyway.